As I was playing Helldivers 2 a few days ago, I had a random achievement pop up titled Get Some, which requires us to fire at least 150 rounds in one burst, killing at least 10 enemies. I wasn't intentionally trying to get this achievement, so you can probably guess what I was doing.
Get some! Get some!
So after completing that one mission, it had me wondering, what is the hardest achievement in Helldivers 2? So after taking a brief look at the Helldivers 2 achievements, I figured the let's call it a draw was likely going to be the hardest achievement, right? I mean, shooting off both arms of the Hulk and then extracting sounds very specific and difficult, and probably the hardest one to pull off. But either way, I didn't go off based off my judgment. I actually went out to find out which one was specifically the rarest achievement in Helldivers 2. And according to the PS1 profiles page, actually, the hardest achievement, or as PlayStation players call it, trophies, is this one, Gun in 360 seconds, which requires you to complete a full extreme difficulty blitz mission and extract in under 6 minutes, which only 3.4% of players have actually unlocked this achievement. I double checked with the SteamHunters.com website, and for the PC players coming from Steam, only 3.9% of players have actually unlocked this achievement, so about 1 out of every 20 players or so even have this unlocked. As a group, this doesn't sound like that hard of an achievement. Everybody goes off their separate ways, close off as many holes as possible, and have someone on standby ready to call down the extraction. But as a solo player, this did sound like quite a pain in the butt, so naturally, I figured I'd take up the challenge. So to complete this achievement, we have to play either the Blitz Eradicate mission type or the Destroy Factories mission type or Bug Holes, if you went for the Terminids. So first, I figured I'd take up the Eradicate mission, wondering whether I could kill them fast enough. So I went in, full of Eagle airstrikes and an exosuit, and a whole lot of overconfidence. Well, the exosuit definitely set the tone for the pacing of the game. Yep. It spawned without arms, for whatever reason. I struggled for quite a bit throughout the game, dying 5 times, and struggling very hard against the one Bile Titan. And by the time I managed to complete the eradication, we were down to about 7 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. A minute and a half off the goal. So I blamed the armless exosuit, and I figured I'd try again. And for the second game, I was able to shave off nearly 40 to 50 seconds, still being about 40 seconds off the mark. Even though I had pretty much a 100% fighting uptime, only dying 1 time. So if I had to make it work in Eradicate missions, it seemed like I'd have to pretty much have a 100% fighting uptime and not dying a single time, while having big enough bugs to accelerate the percentage up enough for us to pull it off in time. I knew that for the Automaton Eradicate missions, you had to kill a bit less when it came to the bots, so I figured I'd give that a try to see if that would make things easier. It was time to put a pin on the Eradicate missions for now. We'll focus on the bug holes, as that would only come down to my efficiency of plugging these holes in a timely manner. It's worth noting that the mission could not afford to have a delayed stratagem call-in modifier, as that modifier applies to the extraction as well, taking a full 3 minutes for the Pelican one to arrive. And we also couldn't afford to play with the obscured map modifier, as that would slow down things tremendously, as that would make it so I wouldn't know where to go for the bug holes. So after handpicking an operation, we gave it a go. For the first Blitz mission, I equipped myself with the jump pack for speed, a grenade launcher to close off holes, Eagle airstrike for the same, and a 380mm barrage, cause we all know how trustworthy the barrage is. The game started, I called in my equipment, and ran to the nearest bug nest, where we had 5 bug holes to seal off. So I figured, let's drop a barrage here, and we'll just rush to the next one to save us some time. So, it was time to try again, for we probably can't afford any deaths, as that would delay us quite a bit. And since the barrages weren't of great use that time around, guess what we did this time? We brought 2 of them. This time, things were serious. We landed, immediately called in my equipment, saw there's a big red nest near us, dumped a barrage in there, but this time, it wasn't gonna get me, cause I'm running straight the other way. And well, that big red nest was only 1 hole, and the other ones were on the other side of the map. But, either way, I was still determined, and especially when I came to realize that we had just walked in a bug nest with 10 holes, which is 1 more than what we need, things were looking promising. So I called in the other barrage, and I decided to nade the bug hole shut to speed things up.
How about a nice...
Alright, so it became a bit clear that I was gonna have to get a map where we could come across a large nest, and ideally, this nest would be close enough to the extraction zone that I could actually go and rush to the extraction zone before the time was up. Remember, I have to complete in 6 minutes, but the game always starts already with 15 seconds off the clock, plus take the 2 minutes Pelican 1 takes to arrive the extraction point, plus about 10 seconds of landing, and realistically, we have to close off all the bug holes and run all the way to the extraction point, all within about 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So time is really tight here. As soon as I land, the map looks pretty bad. We got split up nests, but we're gonna attempt it anyways. We call in the equipment and we get to moving to the first nest. We managed to get the 3 holes right away and go for a Kobe shot on the last one. Yeah, we should really stop trying to do that. And as I run away, I call in for a blind Eagle airstrike Hail Mary as I can't see even 10 feet ahead of me, and rush to the next small bug nest. And what do you know? The Eagle airstrike actually lands, but at a cost. As I respawn though, I catch a glimpse of the next bug nest and it's game on. I know that type of bug nest and it has 5 holes I'll need to finish off the game. So I get in there and try to speed my way through it.
Deploying request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
You've done your duty.
10 minutes on the clock, that means I've managed to pull it off with 1 minute and 45 seconds ahead of time. So it was time to rush back to the extraction. After all, this minute 45 could go down extremely fast if I died again or if I failed to hold off the extraction point. Thankfully, my Helldive difficulty experience showed up to the party as I was able to fend off the bugs without even losing a single life. Just like that, finally, we managed to complete the entire mission in 4 minutes and 49 seconds. 1 minute and 11 seconds to spare. And look at that. Ain't she beautiful? Also, I did try to go back to the eradicate missions, but I didn't quite manage it. It's definitely not an impossible feat. However, there were far too many times where even if you dominated the bug spawns, you just kinda wait around until the next bug breach showed up, so it's going to come down to a lot of luck if you're running a solo. I believe as a group there are more bug breaches, but I'm not entirely sure. Also, looking back at these recordings, I realize how I probably could have been better off using the expert pilot booster, which does reduce the Pelican 1's arrival by 30 seconds, which may end up saving you more time than the stamina booster. But again, I'm not sure. If you do want to attempt this challenge, I definitely recommend a grenade launcher to seal off bug holes faster, or the autocannon if you're going for the automaton side. Everything else, I think, can kind of vary. So with the hardest achievement done solo, it's now time to look for another challenge. Oh, and before I go, 2 billion bugs. We killed 2 billion bugs in 14 hours. I didn't even have time to make a video about it. Good job, Helldivers, and thank you for the 33,000 subs. It means the world to me. This has been a hell of a ride that I didn't quite expect to get on. Thank you again. Be safe, Helldivers. Peace.